Hi guys, so we know that the Conservative Party is out of touch with ordinary people, but Rishi Sunak, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, is living on another planet. Now, the Mirror newspaper ran this story back in February about how his billionaire wife claimed up to £100,000 on the furlough scheme for her staff, instead of paying them herself. Now, she didn't do anything illegal here, she didn't do anything wrong, but it just demonstrates how out of touch her husband is. Now, Sunak was interviewed by Sky News on the issue of universal credit and the Uplift, and his goal of getting people who are on universal credit into jobs. There's just one small flaw with that.
One of the things I'm proudest of over the past 12 to 18 months is that we have looked after the most vulnerable in our society, and all the figures show that those on the lowest incomes have seen the most support from this government at what has been a very difficult time, and we're not done supporting people. My firm belief is the best way to help those families is to make sure that they can have well-paid work.
Okay, so the best way to support people who are on universal credit is to give them jobs. But there's a small problem with that, Mr. Sunak. A very small problem. It says here, this is according to the UK government's own website. I'll leave a link in the description. But it says here, the employment rate has increased for all people on universal credit to 39%, 2.3 million, on the 10th of December 2020. That was an increase from March, the months before. So 39% of people on universal credit are working. Almost half are working. And you want them to get off universal credit and do what? To work? This makes no sense to me. If almost half the people on universal credit need to work, then what are you going to offer them? What can you offer them? If they could find better jobs, they would find better jobs. If they could find jobs that paid them more, they would find jobs that could pay them more. It makes no sense that somebody would be on universal credit by choice if there are better jobs available that pay better. People are on universal credit because they have to, because the jobs that they have don't pay enough, or they can't get enough hours, or that the job is unstable in the sense that it's not, they don't have a proper contract, so they need to rely on universal credit to get by. This man is living in a fantasy world.
And we've got a suite of things that we're doing. The national living wage is going up. We're also helping them with new skills training to find.
Now, he mentions here the national living wage, which is interesting because this is an article on the national living wage, which increased by £345 a year. This was an article from the 3rd of March, which works out at a 2% increase. Now, once again, there's a small problem with that. The inflation rate is forecast to be this year 1.5%. So the real increase in the living wage is 0.5%. So it doesn't work out at £345. It works out at much less than that. Less than half of that. So this, unfortunately, this does not take into account the rate of inflation. It's just the basic amount we're talking about here. But once you factor in inflation at 1.5%, which is forecast, it could be less than that, it could be more than that. But if we're looking at 1.5%, the real increase in the living wage is 0.5%. Would Rishi Sunak live on that? I somehow doubt it.
Find better jobs, the Kickstart scheme, where the government is fully funding high-quality jobs for young people at risk of unemployment. Those are the types of things we're doing, and they will all make a major difference.
Extending that temporary uplift in universal credit, though, is clearly going to help the most. Why won't you do that?
No, I don't think that will help the most. That temporary uplift was indeed temporary. It was the right intervention for the particular part of the crisis that we've experienced. But now, as the economy is reopening and businesses are hiring again, the right thing to do is to help people find really well-paid jobs, which is why the Kickstart scheme is important. It's why we're giving companies huge cash incentives to create new apprenticeships for people. And it's why the Prime Minister's lifetime skills guarantee is crucial. 10 million adults who don't have a level 3 qualification will for the first time be able to get one from the government. We know that that can have a transformative impact on people's ability to get a new job or get a better paid job. Those are the right ways to help people.
The idea that he's taking away this £20 uplift to universal credit, because it means nothing to him. This is from the Express. I don't like to use the Express, but they have this information. We can judge it as you wish. But it says here, they're reporting from The Sun, which isn't much better. But it says here, according to The Sun, Mr. Sunak is thought to be the richest sitting MP. The publication estimates his net worth at around £200 million. I think they have something like, him and his wife have something like 10 homes. Maybe it's not 10, it could be 9. These people are completely disconnected from the lives of ordinary people. But Rishi Sunak is deciding, well, £20 uplift, you don't need it anymore. There are loads of jobs available. The economy is opening up. Get your ass off, off that sofa and start working. Oh, wait a minute, you are working because you're on universal credit. Well, then get yourself a better job. There aren't any better jobs. Well, tough. That's it. You have a billionaire basically deciding policy that affects the poor and the working class. Rishi Sunak should be nowhere near the levers of power. Rishi Sunak should not be in the Chancellery, in the Exchequer. He should not be the Chancellor of the Exchequer. He has no understanding of the trials and tribulations of ordinary people. He has no understanding of what it's like to make ends meet, to struggle, to put food on the table, to decide, should I pay the bills this month? Should I pay the rent this month? Should I try and send my kids to the food bank to see if we can get a bit more food? These people are so disconnected, and the horrible thing is they are the people deciding. Rishi Sunak thinks the £20 uplift is too much. It's, it was temporary. It needs to go. Because he's not benefiting from it. He doesn't understand what it's like to live with that uplift, which means so much to so many people. And taking it away is going to put so many people into poverty. But the Tories don't care, because they don't need these people. It's all a game, really, in a sense, to these politicians. They have no understanding of what ordinary people go through, so they have no understanding of what they need. 10 years of austerity, almost, and it seems that it's probably going to return. There's talk of how the pandemic has been a huge weight of debt around the Exchequer's, around its neck, and it needs to be paid off. And of course, it's going to be paid off through austerity. And who suffers through austerity the most? It's the poor, the working class, and the middle class. Rishi Sunak will not be affected by austerity. His wife won't be affected. Half of the MPs in the House of Commons will not be affected by austerity. More than half, probably. But these are the people who will be driving it. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?